I'm live. Okay. It's like it's past 8 o'clock. It's past everyone's bedtime. I just wanted to jump on to make sure that I got what was crammed in my noggin out. So, what's up, everyone? It is late at night. So, hopefully, you guys are actually watching this tomorrow, Thursday, instead of watching this tonight. I am here and I know I'm going to please get someplace where if you fall over, you can land someplace with like pillows, someplace soft, because this is going to be shocking. I'm in Las Vegas again. That's right. I'm in Biggity Vegas, Sin City, City of Analysts. I think we should really rename it that. I really think that it should just be called Analyst City because we all live here. We live here. We're here a lot. But yes, I am here. Can you guys guess what here's if we played the guessing game around what hotel am I at? I am not facing the Sphere. I have a great view of the freeway and of Allegiant Stadium. It's right outside that window right there. There. That's right. I'm at the Aria. I'm here at the beautiful Aria with the folks at Zendesk Relate. This is where service people come to solve problems. And it has been awesome hearing from all the customers, folks who have maybe started with Zendesk kind of from the beginning, like the OG customers who really came as part of kind of like the help desk knowledge era of Zendesk and have been through all of the incarnations. And if I'm being honest, Zendesk has kind of been through a lot of incarnations. Remember Zendesk Sell? There was a whole, like, we're going to be this multi-purpose CRM and we're going to have selling and we're going to have stuff for sellers and we're going to have service and it's going to be all this stuff. And, you know, they had a CDP, they had data, they had a lot of things. But with this new leadership group, really with Tom Eggemeyer at the head of this group as CEO and an amazing team. They've really got this incredible team and they keep growing the team, yes, through acquisition. But it says a lot about an organization that revels in what they are buying to expand their portfolio and to add to the solutions and the services that they offer. It's also really something wonderful to see when you see a leadership team who was already very smart and an engineering team and a technology team. Adrian, their CTO, is one of the smartest I've had the pleasure of meeting. And when they celebrate the new people that they are working with, that they get to work with, you know that you've kind of landed on something special. But what I will say about Zendesk and this Relate and this opportunity to speak with their customers, Zendesk is really very intentionally and very rightly doubling down on service. They are a service organization. They are delivering technologies and solutions, workflows, frameworks, plans for organizations that believe that the core part, the most important part about delivering exceptional services and service really comes back to its people. And the employee service and the solutions that you were able not only to put in front of your teams, but the systems and the solutions that work in service of your teams. Zendesk is really kind of refocusing and laser focusing itself on that. And I really applaud that. I think that, let me give you a couple highlights because it's late. Y'all don't need me to talk all night. You don't need to hear this. And why are my glasses fogging up? Once again, every single time I talk to y'all, this happens. You would think I've learned my lesson by now. But okay, I wanna talk about this. Tom Eggemeyer in his opening keynote kind of said very definitively, and I think this becomes something this should be the definitive statement. When we think about Zendesk, let's keep this in mind. He said, the only outcome that matters in service, the only outcomes that his customers talk to him about, the outcome that customers expect from Zendesk, the only outcome that matters is resolution. For Zendesk, that has become that true north, that North Star that they are going to hold themselves accountable for. And to that end, one of the things that they have introduced here is what is called the Zendesk resolution platform. That is everything that all the technology, all the data, all the processes, all the workflows, all the AI is now going to aim to be in service of are those resolutions. And whether that resolution is having been able to help an agent, a real life person, deliver better service, or whether it's through a self-service experience and enabling and empowering a customer to have better service and to reach that point of resolution, that is what Zendesk is going to focus on. That is where they're going to focus their R&D, their motions, all of their go-to-market. So you're going to hear resolutions a lot from this organization. I thought it was really interesting that Tom, in his keynote, also made the statement that agentic AI for service requires a network of purpose-built agents and orchestration with integrations to knowledge and control to not only complete tasks, but to drive resolutions. So for Zendesk, AI isn't just about a bot that moves something forward, right? It's not about a single line of action. It is about a network of these agents that have the access to knowledge, the access to data, but also the controls, the governance, the reasoning, the capability to take action. So again, an organization that's going to hold itself accountable for how they view not just AI, but how they view the purpose of all of their technology. So I thought was really, really well said. There are a couple other things that you're going to hear from Zendesk about. One of them is certainly their proposed acquisition of Local Measure. Local Measure is a CCaaS provider that at its core is Amazon Connect. But what Local Measure has really been able to do is eliminate some of that setup, eliminate some of that grist, eliminate some of that services. They really come as this fully packaged, ready to rock and roll CCaaS solution. And if approved as an acquisition by Zendesk, really starts to round out the voice component. Excuse me. Listen, y'all, allergies are a nightmare. And ooh, do I have them. Live streaming. Yay. So let's get back to Local Measure. Once Local Measure becomes, and if Local Measure is approved to become part of the total Zendesk offering and becomes part of this resolution platform, one would assume, according to Zendesk, they're not just going to be a CCaaS provider. Nope. No. They're not just going to be a CCaaS provider. In fact, they've declared themselves the un-CCaaS, everyone. They are looking at enterprise-grade power, reliability, and scale. They want to be simple. They want to be easy to use. They want to be easy to deploy, get up and running, and fully connected to all of your knowledge, right? So Zendesk is referring to their stuff as a knowledge graph. We can talk about that later. But really what this becomes is a really fast, nimble way, I think, for me, for my opinion, for the mid-market to really just run. You want to run with re-architecting this. You want to run with this transformation. You really want to run with this type of transformation and digital motion. This becomes a really interesting thing to look at, right? Because you're getting a lot of that Amazon Connect power. You're getting all of the knowledge, the insight, and the know-how of Local Measure. And now you're getting all of that integration all deep into Zendesk. And it becomes a really interesting conversation. There are two other announcements that I want to quickly touch on before we close out tonight. There was the announcement of Zendesk Action Builder. It is actually building workflows, including workflows that go into third-party apps. Here is what I loved about this announcement. These are pre-built integrations. These are pre-built services. These are pre-built flows. Let's say you're in service and you want to build a flow that when a client initiates a ticket, when that service ticket is created and you have started on that case, the sales rep finds out. So normally how you would go about and do that, if you were in service, you would maybe have to open your CRM of choice. Maybe you're opening up Salesforce. Then you're having to figure out how you're going to message this sales leader. So maybe that's email, maybe that's Slack, right? So if you're going to create that workflow, you're going to have to make sure that your workflow can actually get to and engage with and trigger workflows that go out into those third-party apps. And that's really the purpose here of Action Builder. I like this. I like it a lot. The thing I like the most about it is this is yet again another player within the entire customer experience ecosystem that knows that they are not an island. They are not going to do this alone, and that people have a set way of work. They have a set way of communicating. And if your sellers are on Slack, you better have that initiation. You better have that, hey, one of your customers just initiated a service ticket. That should be in Slack, right? That's not in some other area. That's not, see what I mean? It's that integrating that workflow into the places and spaces where people work. And it's making it so a service agent doesn't need to actually go and swivel chair into Salesforce and figure out who has that account. Where is that seller going? Service doesn't have time for that. That should be a new service t-shirt. I don't have time for that, because it kind of does describe the life of a service agent, right? So we're asking them to do all these things. Action Builder, right? Because it's not just about your capacity to build an agent. I think a lot of people are proving that you can build an agent. Zendesk is giving their customers a way that they can actually build that action. I like that. Now, they also have announced an Agent Builder, so don't think we're missing out there. Another thing that they announced was just how much of their AI capabilities were just going to be built into the platform. You're not going to see another invoice for it. So something like generative AI search, that is just going to be how search is handled now in Zendesk and in their knowledge base. More things like that are going to have to become the norm, I think, in the market, because buyers are going to expect that. They're not going to want to get charged for every single query, every single search, that bill's getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time we seem to blink or turn our head. Zendesk understands that, and they believe that this should be the experience, full stop. This should be the experience of when your customer is searching. They should have that generative experience, so it's built in. That's not to say that there aren't going to be AI services and AI solutions for Zendesk customers that are going to be above and beyond, let's say, what they are paying now. But if we listened closely to Tom and we listened closely to what I said earlier, it's going to be about resolutions. And if we're talking about the focus and the only thing that matters is resolution, well, you better believe that Zendesk is going to come through with pricing that is about resolutions. So keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out for that on the horizon. This is what I want to close with. They had a great keynote. This unknown guy named Trevor Noah, comedian, right? Social activist, entrepreneur, all the things that Trevor Noah is. But it was really interesting because he said two things. He was asked if he was optimistic about AI, because Trevor Noah, for those of you who don't know, is a bit of like a tech geek. It's kind of why we all love him. He loves exploring and playing with technology. He loves kind of getting to know and learn things. He does a lot of stuff with the team over at Microsoft, which is awesome. But he was asked, do you remain optimistic about AI? And he said, I've heard people say it's like the atom bomb again. Like, oh my God, it's the atom bomb again. He's like, and I understand why people say that. But this is what I love what he said. The atom bomb couldn't write poems. Weapons can only be weapons. AI is a tool that, yes, can be used as a weapon. But he also went on to say that we have to think about AI and who is creating that. Are we creating it to be a weapon? Are we intentionally setting up our users to use AI as a weapon? It's a really excellent question, because it's our responsibility to create AI in a way that it's a tool. And yes, some people are going to use it as a weapon, but I'd like to think that more people are going to try to use it to figure out how to write a poem, right? And that poem might be in service, it might be in sales, it might be in marketing, wherever that is going to be. Let's try not to use it as a weapon, right? It is a tool. So how do we use that tool, and to what end and to what purpose are we using that tool? So I thought it was a great point. In fact, he said, we talk about these tools as passive. The AI will, the AI can, but whose AI? Who's creating it? We have the responsibility as the creators of this technology to shape the technology. Great point. I love that. But here's the one I want to really leave you with, because I think it's an interesting way to think about, at least a different way that we can be thinking about our strategies when it comes to customer experience. So it's this. When he was asked about the way in South Africa people are greeted, he explained that in Zulu, it translates, the greeting when you say hello or when you meet someone is the way it's literally translated is that I still see you. So it's not just that I see you. I see you. Hello. It's I see you and I still see you. Think about that. Let that set in, right? How can we, as customer experience leaders, how can we try to embody that? How do we embody that Zulu greeting that says, I see you and I still see you? Are we making that known through the experiences that we're architecting? Do our technologies enable our customers to feel that they aren't just seen? Hey, Liz, sup, Liz. But how do we make them feel like they're still seen? And isn't that what we're all trying to do? Isn't that what we're all trying to do in experience, especially in service, right? We want our customers to be like, oh, hey, I see you, but I still see you. And I thought that was just an amazing, amazing point. And I think that's an amazing place to leave off here tonight. Zendesk, thank you guys so much for having me here. It's really been a wonderful event. It's been a really fun way to kind of reconnect to some degree with a lot of what's happening with Zendesk's customers. I've been very fortunate in that I've worked with some really great AR people here at Zendesk over the years that have kept me really in touch with the product and what's going on with the company. But this Relate was a really fun time to connect with the customers. There was a great, great keynote and a great presentation from Dutch Brothers around what they're doing. You guys should check it out. Lush is also, the consumer brand Lush is also doing a ton of great activations and really putting in some really great strategy and having that come to life with a lot of their AI assistants and really wanting to, kind of stay in touch. And again, I still see you to their customers. So definitely check those out. But again, hey, to the team at Zendesk, thanks for bringing me back to Viggity Vegas. And with that, good night, y'all. Next week, I'm in England, so expect to see my blithering head rambling on, but in a different time zone. So y'all know that's going to be a hot mess. But I'm going to try to figure out how to do this without a zipper thingy that keeps doing this. Oh, anyway. But as always, thanks for hanging out with me for just a few minutes, and hope you're having a great week.